Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Optibottom coming with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Combiner Wars Legend Class Shockwave. Now, unlike the Buzzsaw, which seems to kind of fit more with the Titan Return line, this definitely fits with the Combiner Wars. As you can see, it's a combined to form, blah blah blah, and basically you're using it as a weapon for Bruticus. For the package, you can see pretty small. You got the nice image there in the back. You do get a collector card with all these. That's just a reprint of the background image, but you got the nice figure right there. You come around here to the back, and this is where you kind of see what's going on. It's shown here being attached to Onslaught. You know, the other cool thing is, because he does transform into his Cybertronian gun, he can also be held by Bruticus. So that again kind of goes along with the whole Combiner Wars thing. For his little bio up there, it says, the Decepticon scientists created Bruticus to pummel the Autobots. Really not how it actually worked, but you know, we'll go with it. Like I said, you can actually use him as a weapon for him, so I think that's really cool. Now in general, these large characters that have small toys I typically don't like, at least being displayed by themselves, but I really do think that this guy's going to fit very nicely with being displayed as Bruticus's weapon, so that's primarily why I was interested in picking him up. So for the package though, that is about it for it. So without further ado, let's get this guy out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Shockwave open up out of his packaging and in his gun-ish kind of mode. Now, a couple different things. You can kind of make it in this where he's like a flying kind of gun. That's one of the aspects that they talk about. Or you can just take this, rotate this down, and you can actually have him hold this. Now, this can also clip to the back of Onslaught in his vehicle mode, but that's not how I'm going to use it. I'm honestly going to use him holding it as a gun in Bruticus mode, because that's, I think, where it's going to look the best. But I'm really quite impressed, other than the fact that, you know, you got his feet sticking out here. I'm actually really impressed with what they were able to do with this. I mean, everything is all included. There's no parts forming with this, which is really quite impressive. You know, a lot of times you have to add the barrel, you know, and with this, you don't. I think it's really cool how they actually got like a little target right here. Granted, I really wish that they would have used this purple translucent plastic for that, but you got the little target right on the opposite side as well, which looks really very nice. Overall, I mean, a wonderful representation. You do have his hands kind of hanging out here. That's a little bit ugly, but, you know, from the top, it's not all that bad. But again, it's a legend size figure, so for what they were able to do with this guy, I'm really quite impressed with it. Now, like I said, I'm going to use him primarily as a gun for Bruticus. So bringing in my Bruticus, all you have to do, it doesn't really work so much here with Blast Off, because you got this section right here where you can kind of wedge it in between, I suppose. I mean, you got that little bit that kind of hangs out, but it actually fits better here with Vortex. You just stick that right in there, and boom, he's got Shockwave as a weapon, which he used them once in one episode, which is where I think the homage for this kind of comes from. And his hips, yeah, still not the best or anything, but you can kind of get them working pretty good, especially if you have it like that. It kind of adds some weight to the front. So you do have that. You can hold them with deluxe size figures as well. You just got the little peg right here. Larger size figures that have kind of fatter fingers, such as say that leader class figures, you're going to have a harder time because you don't have as big of a gap right here. So you just stick that right in there, and I think that is really cool. Like I said, that's how I'm going to use, or that's how I'm going to display him. So for me, that works perfectly. Now to transform them, really very, very simple. You just take these legs, you split them out, you're going to rotate these around just like so, or spin them around like that, spin them around. And then you got this little, the angular section right here, you just kind of lift this up and kind of slot that, and I put that there, slot that into place like that, and then rotate these around, and now you have his feet done. Take this, angle that back, take this, bring these down, and then shift these forward like so. Do that on this side as well, bring that down, shift these forward just like so, and then you just take this whole section, bring this back, and then that rotates back and around, and then you can take this section here and you can actually angle that and put that all the way down along his back. And as you bring that back out, you can see that it actually brings out his head, and there you got little mini Shockwave in his robot mode. And in general, I mean, again, for a very small figure, this guy just really works very well. I do wish that these little hip things could lock into place a little bit better. As it is, you know, they kind of slip down every now and then, but it's really not that bad. And then he does have one arm that does have the cannon, one hand that does have just a hand, but then you got these little pieces on the side here, so that kind of makes this section look a little bit weird, but all in all, this guy is really very well done. You got a really great head sculpt here. You can see you got the nice yellow eye section there. Got some nice silver paint for his ears. I mean, that is an absolute perfect representation of Shockwave's head. I mean, that is amazing. The way that the transformation is, he's got a little bit of a shoulder joint right there, and then you got a ball joint right there. So you can get a good range of motion with this guy's arms, move forward, back, kind of pivot side to side and in and out. Again, based on the way that the transformation is, I guess you can kind of say he's got a backwards elbow joint, but the primary joint here is going to be down here, which is on a ball joint as well. So you get a nice range of motion there. Unfortunately, nothing at the waist, but again, legend size figure. And then you got the hips that are on ball joints, but he also has a swivel at the upper part of the thigh, which is really nice. Again, part of the transformation. And then you got a nice knee joint. I guess you could kind of say that he's got ankle pivot in the fact that it can go forward and back a little bit. Again, part of the transformation, but the guy just really comes together very nicely. You know, I really wish, in terms of a classic representation, this really makes me wish that they would make just a larger size of this. Keep almost everything the exact same. I mean, you could actually do a little bit more in terms of like having these maybe folding on the back of his arms or something like that. You could do so much with this figure if you just upsized them. I would absolutely love that. I mean, this guy is just about as perfect of a figure as you can possibly get. You got some nice silver paint here for his abs. I like the transparent chest section with the Decepticon logo right there. You actually got a couple a couple Decepticon logos. You got the one right there, and then you got the nice one on his chest. So they really did not skimp on anything. I mean, I guess if I were to kind of complain, I would maybe like some silver here on his thighs. The gray plastic doesn't look bad, but if I was just to nitpick, that's something that I would probably like having added on to it. But all in all, I mean, everything, even the backpack, you know, it collapses very nicely. Everything on here just comes together so well. I mean, this is definitely one of those figures where you can really see a labor of love, and you can point to and be like, oh, and I forgot, his head's on a ball joint. So you get a nice range of motion with that as well. But you can definitely sit there and say that Hasbro did not miss the mark on this figure at all. This guy just is wonderful. Now, to transform him back, again, you just take this section, bring this up, kind of bring that up, and bringing that all the way down just creates the handle for it. Bring this up, you're going to angle these back like so. Bring that up, kind of get that in the way. And then you got these little pegs right here that actually slot on the inside here of his arm. So you bring that up and you lock that into place just like those. So you rotate that around and then bring this up. And let's see, you angle, let's see, go like that. There we go, angle that. And then you lock that into place down there, squeeze these together, locks that into place just like that. These hips, you just take these, and they were already down there, but I'm going to show you. You just bring these down like so, rotate, and then bring this up like that. Put that right there. So do that on this side as well. Kind of rotate that around. I guess you don't even have to rotate it at the hip right there. I mean, kind of flips around, so you're kind of fiddling with it. If you don't do it the right way, I guess it doesn't really matter how you do it, but just kind of collapse these together, bring those two halves together just like that, give that a nice squeeze, and there you have him back in the handheld gun cannon mode. And again, great representation of the character. I mean, everything about it just it's nailed perfectly by the guy. Maybe if they gave a little, I don't know, stand for it or something like that, maybe you could do that. Or like I said, you could just go like that, and he can be a little space cannon thing. But all in all, the guy is great. Both modes, beautifully and wonderfully capture that Shockwave likeness. You can use him both as a weapon for just individual figures. You can use him to attach as an extra cannon for Onslaught, and you can use him as a handheld gun for Bruticus himself. So it's just amazing what this figure really brings to the table. I absolutely love this guy. Now, him as well as the rest of the Legend class figures are slowly hitting various retail locations right now. Or as always, there's Big Bad Toy Store. So all you have to do is click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to BBTS where you can pick this guy up and add him to your collection today. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus, and until next time, I'll talk to you later.